From the preface of Robinhood by Robert Pyle.
You who so plod among serious things that you think it shame to give yourself up, even for a few short moments, to mirth and merriness in the land of fancy. You who think that life hath naught to do with innocent laughter, which can harm no one, these pages are not for you. Clap to the leaves, and go no farther than this. For I tell you plainly that if you go farther, you will be scandalized by seeing good, sober folk of real history so frisk and caper in gay colors and motley that you would not know them but for the names tagged to them. Here is Ed Robson, who welcomes and warns you into this land of fancy. Our chorus and our faithful leader and cantor, Mignon Dobbins, on the harp with buttons of a sort, Dr. Yong-Im Federley, our storyteller, Pam Lepley, joined today by Don Kautz. We'll hear too from our scribe, Emily Honeycutt, our bard, Reverend Kayla, and our midwife of sorts, Stephanie Keyes. Beside these are a whole host of knights, priests, nobles, pages, ladies, lasses, landlords, beggars, peddlers, and whatnot, all living the merriest of merry lives, and all bound by nothing but a few odd strands of certain old ballads, snipped and clipped and tied together again in a score of knots, which draw these jocund fellows here and there, singing as they go. And here is a country bearing a well-known name, wherein no chill mists press upon our souls, and no rain falls but what rolls off our backs like April showers off the backs of sleek drakes, where flowers bloom forever and birds are always singing. This country is not Fairyland. What is it? 'Tis the land of fancy, and is of that pleasant kind that, when you tire of it, whisk, you clap the pages together of the book, and 'tis gone, and you are ready for ordinary life with no harm done. And now I lift the curtain that hangs between here and no man's land. Will you come with me, sweet reader? I thank you. Give me your hand.
under the greenwood, greenwood tree, under the greenwood, 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 under the greenwood, greenwood tree, under the greenwood, 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 under the greenwood, greenwood tree, under the greenwood, 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 under the greenwood, greenwood tree, greenwood tree, greenwood tree, under the greenwood tree, greenwood tree.
Won't you journey with us to under the greenwood tree? Here where we reside on Robinhood Rd, may we enter into a state of fancy and wonder what stories of truths, what lessons, what bread and roses might we find here in this world of Robinhood. Now, it's getting a bit cold under the greenwood tree, and I think we might need to light our here fire. Will you help me by rubbing your hands together? Maybe imagine there are sticks, even. A little bit faster. Can you go a little faster? And Ann, can you help us, Ann Zimmerman, light our flame this morning? All right. A little faster, folks. Not you, us. And on 3, we're going to have a whoosh. And with 2 hands, we're going to throw our fires on up.
We are. Yeah. Oh.
1, 2, 3, whoosh!
Y'all is trying to kill me.
Our chalice is lit with joy and delight, and we know it's been a week. Take a moment to just acknowledge what might need to be acknowledged within you in order to delve fully into this land of fancy. What might be in your body or on your heart or mind or spirit? What might you need to take from this gathering we have today? And what might you have to offer? We took a moment to greet ourselves. Now let us take a moment to greet one another, those gathered here in this room and those who might be joining us on Zoom. Let's first wave to the folks on Zoom and the camera and our alcove folks. Hi, alcove folks. Those of us on Zoom can continue saying hello to one another in the chat. And those of us here in person, let's take a moment and say hello to those who are around you with words or with a wave if you prefer.
Thank you, good folk of the Robinhood Wood. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Emily Honeycutt. I am your friendly neighborhood healer and educator. I use the pronoun she, her, and I am your worship associate this evening. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Winston-Salem. It is a place where we hope all souls and all people can fill our cups. We are a theologically pluralistic religious movement. We love that among us we have people with a whole variety of beliefs, and many of us individuals consist of a whole wide variety within us too. Among us we are atheist, Christian, humanist, pagan, Jewish, agnostic, Buddhist, and more. We believe that our concept of truth and reality can become more broad and deep when we are in real relationship with each other. We are united by covenant, vision, and by mission. Our mission, who will work toward being together in our world. Our purpose of being together as a community. Let's say it together now. Together, we cultivate curious minds, compassionate hearts, and courageous actions in service of a more just and loving world. Now, we hear from Pam Lepley, who's helped by Don Kotz, for our story this morning. In our place on Robinhood Rd, what lessons on collectivism can we learn from Robin Hood and his merry band? We begin by turning to the story of Robin Hood himself. This telling of our story was adapted from a Storytime Soundtracks production from Yoto.
How did Robin come to live in Sherwood Forest? Now there's a tell. When Robin was a strong lad of 18, he set out from Barnesdale to travel to Nottingham to be the youngest contestant in the great archery tournament. The prize, a barrel of ale. And the chance to work as the master of longbowmen in the service of the Sheriff of Nottingham. Robin had thought of nothing else since he was a very young boy, and his chance was finally here. His yew bow was waxed and polished, and he knew every notch and every groove in each of his arrows. The journey to Nottingham was 2 days walking. The first day of his journey was fine and bright. When he settled down for the night, there was plenty of dry wood for his fire and a clear, cool stream nearby where he quenched his thirst. Young Robin woke up full of excitement on the second day and started walking with a brisk step and a merry whistle. As Robin reached the outskirts of Sherwood Forest, he could hear a woman crying and a man shouting. In a clearing up ahead, he could see a man dressed in red and gold sitting upon a horse. In front of him, a woman sitting and wailing on the ground. A round-bellied monk stood next to her, trying to shield her. Her bags had been emptied, and the contents were scattered all over the muddy ground. The man in red dismounted and approached the frightened woman. "Hand over your money," he said. Robin was shocked. This was the sheriff's men. Why was he stealing from this poor woman? Something felt very wrong. He knew that it was a crime to stop the sheriff's men from carrying out their orders, but he couldn't just stand there and do nothing.
Let her go. The sheriff never needs to hear that you have shown mercy to this woman.
Just then, one of the king's deer burst into the clearing, a huge stag with fearsome antlers, and it was charging straight at the guard. Just before it reached him, Robin released his arrow, and the stag fell to the ground. The guard looked stunned, but recovered and raised his sword to point it at Robin.
Look here, I have saved your life. In return, I am asking you to let this woman go.
What is your name?
I am Robin Hood, sir.
Then, Robin Hood, I am arresting you on the charge of shooting the king's deer, and for preventing the collection of taxes. You will be brought to justice by the Sheriff of Nottingham.
You have to catch me first.
Robin ran into the woods at full pelt, and he got away. And so did the woman and the friar. But all the joy and excitement had drained out of Robin. His plans for a great victory and a noble life in the castle, they were in ruins. He wandered aimlessly around, trying to imagine what he could do next. After a while, he came upon the monk and the woman. "You did a good deed, my boy," said the monk. "The sheriff has become mad with greed and power, but by taking a stand against him, I'm afraid that your name and your face will not be welcome in Nottingham. You are now an outlaw." Outlaw? Outlaw? The word fell on Robin like a stone. But where will I go now? There are many outlaws living in the forest, and you are welcome here, the monk said, consoling and counseling him. And so Robin Hood came to live in the greenwood that was to be his home for many years to come. During his first year in the forest, there gathered around him many others who had been cast out for one reason or another. Their numbers grew with every new measure that the heartless sheriff took against his own people. The Sherwood folk looked after one another. Every time they found someone hungry, they would feed them. Every time they found someone cold, they would clothe them. Robin worked hardest of them all to change the fortunes of the poor, and soon stories of his good deeds were being told throughout the land.
Now we'll step away from Sherwood Forest to a tune called Sherman Island. Please rise in body or in spirit for all that is our life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks for all that is our life. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks for all that is our life. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Some of us will stay here for our musical meditation while others head to class. Middle and high school youth will be playing some games while engaging in discussions on Christianity. Our elementary age class will be exploring vegetable pottage. Before this, we offer some questions we might want to talk about with others at coffee hour, with friends or family over the week. I wonder, what about Robin Hood's story moves you? Where do you want to place yourself in this tale of Robin Hood? And where do you think you realistically are right now? As we ponder these questions, let's sing our children who are attending class today into their classes.
We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. to nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you go. We hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. To nurture the spark of your precious life, we hold you in our love as you go.
Let us take a deep breath and ground ourselves. Perhaps you would like to meditate on our wondering today that is written in your order of service. Together, let's transition into our musical meditation led by young M. Federley.
Spirit of life and love, this week may we remember. May we remember to send love to ourselves. Let's do it right now if we want. May we remember to send love to ourselves. May we remember to send love to those we know who are here, to those we know who are in rehabilitation centers of so many kinds, those among us, of those among us who sit in jail, of those among us who sit in living facilities and are feeling isolation, of those among us too who are remembering joy despite loss. May we too remember the bread that sustains us and the roses, the joy, the beauty in our lives. May we remember to spend less time consuming less time and less energy, consuming information about our world than we spend time and energy co-creating it. May we remember that we are not passive. May we remember our love and our strength and our power. And may we remember the small act of doing one more thing and then another as a way of spreading love and justice in ourselves and in our world. In the Spirit, will you join me in song, meditation, and prayer?
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone. We'll take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer. One more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Since Robin Hood named Marian and Little John are gone, the hobby horse was quite forgot when kept in dances alone. Since Robin Hood named Marian and Little John are gone, the hobby horse was quite forgot when kept in dances alone. He did labor after the takeover for to dance and into France, for to dance and into France. He took pains to skip it in hope of gains, of gains. He would trip it on the toe, diddle 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 do, diddle 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 do. He did labor after the takeover for to dance and into France, for to dance and into France. He took pains to skip it in hope of gains, of gains. He would trip it on the toe, diddle 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 do, diddle 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 do.
Thank you, choir and mignon, and thank you for so deeply leaning in to our Robin Hood theme. When your worship planning team discerned last May that one of our themes should be stories of collectivism, and then staff sat with all of these themes in the summer, it dawned upon us that residing on Robinhood Rd was just too good of an opportunity to pass up. So today we enter in to our theme of stories of collectivism from Robinhood Rd, where we look to a different character in this story to glean some insight, some truths, some guidance into our own roles in this movement for love and justice that we are a part of today, just as Robin Hood and so many were fancifully a part of so many centuries ago. Now, the story we heard from Pam and Don this morning, we heard a shift that took place in Robin Hood, a coming-of-age moment, a moment where the rose-tinted glasses were shattered and removed, a moment of acceptance that the world was not as he had imagined. And this happened because someone who he respected, a leader, a sheriff, who he had spent his whole life imagining serving, was not the person he thought he was. Robin was forced to grieve and reckon with the evil in the world through the actions of the sheriff and his men. Now, in the original book, The Merry Adventures of Robin Hood by Robin Pyle, which I will say Ed read almost verbatim, we just changed the characters this morning. This story also begins with a reckoning moment for Robin Hood, one of having to grieve and reconcile evil in the world. But in this story, the actions were his own. Robin again comes into some of the sheriff's men on a journey, and they are very, very rude to him. He gets into a heated discussion with one of them who is incredibly cruel to young Robin. And Robin, as he's leaving and being jeered, turns around and shoots an arrow. The arrow kills the sheriff's man. The book then reads, "Meanwhile, Robin Hood ran through the greenwood. Gone was all the joy and brightness from everything. For his heart was sick within him, and it was borne upon his soul that he had slayed a man." In our original story, it was Robin Hood's coming to terms with the wrongdoing that he had done that spurred him into living the life he wound up living in Sherwood Forest, one of care and love and solidarity with all those around him. And if this differently told story tests your universalism, this old theological claim of ours that all are saved by a love larger than our imagining, that we are not the ones to judge, that all are saved by a love that is greater than us. If this is challenging, well, I think this is one of the purposes of this story. Now, we won't dwell there all together today, but I hold out a metaphorical bookmark for you to return to later today or this week if you would like to take it, and use this story as a meditation on your own universalist challenges. What we move to today is how this origin story remarkably sets Robin Hood up to be a very, very different kind of leader. Robin Hood did not enter into service from a sense of being better than thou. No, he deeply, deeply knew the horrors that can happen to us when we slip for a moment. When our power, when our action causes harm and sorrow to another. And it was in this deep sense of knowing, of grieving the wrong that we are all capable of doing, that moved Robin to love and care for all the others who were outlawed in Sherwood Forest, no matter the reason they were there for. The reason why I love this beginning of the story of Robin Hood so much is that our protagonist has already fallen from grace. Too often, our heroes, our leaders, are people who we somehow make up to be perfect in our minds, even though, of course, they cannot be, right? They are but human, as we all are. And the tragedy that can happen when a hero falls off a pedestal is that what they stood for, whatever value or truth they carried forth that we believe in too, that they embodied for us for a moment, this value, this truth, becomes questioned when their flaws come to light. Our faith in the message becomes questioned because of the messenger. Not so with Robin Hood. Right from the beginning, he is knocked down among us. Thank goodness. I don't really want my heroes to be good. Not only is it boring, it's not true. Because despite Robin's wrongdoing from the very beginning of this story, he was able to carry forth and be a leader of goodness and love and justice. And maybe even because of his wrongdoing, he was able to be a leader who deeply embodied love and justice. Now, the other part of Robin Hood's beauty as a leader and brilliance as a leader is that he never goes it alone, right? He's always carrying that bugle horn, and that's what gets him out of trouble, is a call to those around him. He has his merry band, and when he meets others out in the forest, even when they intend and try to do him harm, he after invites them to join him. He builds a movement through relationships. He knows the power of forgiveness, of recovenanting with oneself and one another. He is not a solitary leader. Thank goodness. I want no more solitary leaders for us. Us humans are not meant to be alone, right? Why would we allow those with more influence and more power to act alone? What a bad idea, man. The concept of a singular hero or leader is not only not true, it is harmful for the leader and for us all. Rebecca Solnit, American writer and activist, has a thought-provoking article called "When the Hero is the Problem." She shares that whenever the story of positive social change is told in a way that lifts up one hero as making this change possible, it is problematic because it is not true, and it makes everyone else, all of us, think that change is not possible without this hero. It seems like we, too, need to just wait for such a gifted leader to descend upon us. It disenfranchises us into thinking that we, right here and right now, do not have the power to make change ourselves. But we do. It's just long, slow work, right? That's how real change happens. The work of building trust and growing coalition, it requires a lot of meetings. Individual meetings, meeting between groups, meetings with those in power. Movies hate meetings, Rebecca Solnit wrote, remarking that popular culture doesn't want to show meetings, doesn't want to show the slow slog of building trust and power that is how social change really happens. Meetings can indeed be tedious and boring. I would argue not always. I think we host some good meetings here. And in life, in a church, a congregation, a fellowship, and in organizing a community, we know there can be a lot of meetings, but they can be energizing and deeply personal and become deeply powerful on a societal level Just ask our folks involved in IAF, our Industrial Areas Foundation, and our UU Justice North Carolina statewide table about this. And don't worry, you'll hear from someone from Industrial Areas Foundation later in the service. It's like we plan these things. Rebecca Solnit writes, positive social change results mostly from connecting more deeply to the people around you than rising above them, from coordinated rather than solo action. She goes on to say we need hope and purpose and membership in a community beyond the nuclear family. And this connection is both personally fulfilling and how we get stuff done that needs to be done. Amen. We need to connect more deeply to one another, and we need this because we need it for us and to get some stuff done. We need it, Robinhood needed it, and we know, just as he and his community knew, that just being together is not enough. We need covenant, ways of agreeing to be together, and we need purpose and mission too. Now, here's the covenant, the behavioral agreement that Robinhood and his merry men kept together. They vowed that even as they themselves had been despoiled, they would despoil their oppressor, whether baron, abbot, knight, or squire, and that from each they would take that which had been wrung from the poor by unjust taxes or land rents or in wrongful fines. But to the poor folk they would give a helping hand in need and trouble, and would return to them that which had been unjustly taken from them. Besides this, they swore never to harm a child, nor to wrong a woman, be she maid, wife, or widow, so that after a while, when the people began to find that no harm was meant to them, but that money or food came in time of want to many of poor family, they came to praise Robin and his merry men, and to tell many tales of him and his doings in Sherwood Forest, for they felt him to be one of themselves. Now, I quickly note for us there that we often hear an oversimplification that Robin Hood was about robbing the rich and giving to the poor. The book clarifies this, saying that Robin Hood and his men took back what originally rightfully belonged to the poor folks. Just an important note of clarification. Now, gendered language and conceptions of the times this was written in aside, Robin and his men had a covenant that ensured they were all treating those they were amongst and serving well. And this was essential to their mission, to help their fellow poor folks of Sherwood Forest survive. Their covenant helped them deepen in relationships and be trusted just as ours does. They were clear in purpose, they had a covenant, and here's some good news for us here on Robinhood Road. We've got covenant, we've got mission, right? We've even got all sorts of opportunities to get to know one another and build power. IAF, UU Justice North Carolina, Piedmont Environmental Alliance, small groups within our fellowship to deepen relationships, volunteer opportunities galore, and we have our heritage too. Our Unitarian roots that remind us of people's capacity for extraordinary goodness despite our foibles, and our Universalist roots that remind us that even though we are all flawed, flailing, sometimes failing humans, there is a love at the center that holds us. There is a love that catches us. There is a love that connects us to all. May we move with faith in all these truths, not to wait for a hero, but to build a movement of love and justice right here and right now. Amen. Won't we rise together, in body or in spirit?
I want to teach you the chorus first. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. That's the words for the chorus. Love is at the center. join in whenever you feel comfortable. We've done this once before. We'll start at the top. And I believe in the power of giving. I believe in the power of change. I believe in the power of differences. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. I believe in the power of justice. I believe in the power of fairness. I believe in the web of life. I believe in love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love. Love is at the center. At the center there is love.
Every single Sunday, every single month, we split our plate with a different community partner. This month, our share of the plate is with the Piedmont Environmental Alliance. This Sunday, we first hear from Carol Zeal, representing another of our community partners, the Industrial Areas Foundation, our local community organizing group.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Carol Zeal, and I'm here on behalf of the UUF IAF core team. I wanted to let you know that next Sunday, right after service, we're hosting a lunch and learn, and it will be on relational meetings. And I want to take a moment to connect that to today's service on Robinhood and collectivism. The Robinhood stories remind us of something timeless. Real change happens when ordinary people act together, not alone. The merry men weren't powerful because of Robin Hood's skill with a bow. They were powerful because they were a community, connected, committed, and courageous. Relational meetings are conversations where two people sit down and share what really matters with them. Not small talk, not a meeting with an agenda, but a chance to deeply listen and to be listened to in return. These conversations form the backbone of community organizing because they do something powerful. They deepen connections. They help us discover common ground. They empower participation, and they strengthen our mission. Robin Hood's world was shaped by injustice, and so is ours. But the lesson we take from that story isn't vigilantism, it's collectivism. It's the reminder that when people build relationships, they can stand together for fairness, dignity, and shared well-being. Listening, real listening, is an act of love, and we believe in love. So next Sunday, I invite you to join us. We'll offer a brief training, pair up to practice, and share lunch together. If you're part of a group, tech team, choir, care team, IAF core team, the grounds team, let's see what other team do we have in here. Lots of teams. Maybe you haven't even had a relational meeting with your members. Come, get your team to come. You'll be amazed how great it is, how much you learn, and how much it works. The board did it, and they loved it. And as we build these skills, we're also building towards something big, our largest turnout ever for the founding Forsyth IAF Assembly on June the 14th. It's a Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m., so not too late at night, at Emmanuel Baptist Church. And this is where we can really come and increase our community. We'll get to know so many people from other liberal religions in our town, other great groups like PEA. You will, if you come, I can guarantee you will leave feeling changed in a good way, in a compassionate way. And this is when we show community decision makers how many people care about the solutions our IAF community is envisioning. When we show up together with the entire IAF community, we demonstrate our compassion and our power for Forsyth County in a way that cannot be ignored. It happens in Raleigh. If you want to hear about what Raleigh does with Wake One, just let me know. Our goal is 100 people from here, and we want to see you there. So let's show our love by listening to each other, and let us show our compassion, which is love in action, by showing up together as a congregation. I believe that's in our mission. What part is that? Together.
Thank you, Carol. I really appreciate that. Our Share the Plate partner this month is Piedmont Environmental Alliance, or P. P educates and empowers, builds community, and leads actions to create a more just, resilient, and environmentally sustainable region. On Saturday, April 18th, they will begin hosting the annual Earth Day Fair, an event that began 21 years ago in our parking lot and has now grown to be the largest Earth Day celebration in North Carolina. While many of us have auto payments set up for pledges, we encourage you to consider contributing a little extra to our collection plate if you find it within your means. Cash contributions and checks marked share on the memo line will be split 50-50 with P. For added convenience, you can also text your contribution or donate on our website. I invite the ushers to come forward as we listen to our offertory music. Thank you. It's gorgeous today, isn't it? Ann said, in case you didn't hear, Ann said our music was way too fun today. I had fun singing. We know that building community and being of service begins with us and between us. Here are some highlights on ways to engage through the fellowship. This afternoon at 2 p.m., This afternoon at 2 p.m., come and join us for our third annual UUFWS National Poetry Month celebration. We'll have featured writers, outstanding poets, and an open mic for all. There will be refreshments and books available. Come hear or share wonderful voices as we celebrate all things poetry. On Monday the 13th, the Monday Mindfulness Group meets in person at the Trellis Labyrinth from 11 a.m. to noon. On Friday the 17th, we will host our third Friday board game night starting at 7 p.m. On Saturday the 18th, the Piedmont Earth Day Fair will be from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds. As bronze sponsors, UUFWS has a booth where we engage with fair attendees. It's a lot of fun, and volunteers are needed to come staff our booth. Please sign up to assist or just come to the fair and stop by our booth and say hello. You can find this and more information on these and many other community events happening in the fellowship. Just check out the calendar on our website, the weekly What's Up email newsletter, monthly highlight emails, and the back of your order of service. Our final announcement is about what is happening now for newcomers. Newcomers, you are invited to a New Year session after the service. Head across the lobby and go to the end of the hall. If you need assistance, ask someone with a blue name tag. They'll be happy to help. Zoom folks, simply hang on and join the breakout room when you are invited to.
Movies hate meetings. Thank goodness we UUs love them, right? But truly, we have the stuff, the patience, the resilience, the knowledge that it's the little things. It's the one small move and then another. The love for truly getting to know one another that is needed right now. As we leave today, may we take from this gathering under the greenwood tree, I hope some joy and some lightness and levity, as well as some lessons that are empowering that we have to take with us from this place. In the spirit, won't you rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing our chalice extinguishing words.
May I be light in you. May you be light in me. Into our hearts, into our souls, let love abide. May I be love in you. May you be love in me. From this place out to the world for all time.
And extinguish our chalice and take some bread home for your sustenance.
Everything goes better with snacks.
That's right.
That's right.
I was raised
Right.
Presbyterian. We like eating.
I didn't know there was a perk to this. Okay. So, no?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Let us join together in our parting words. Our worship has ended. May our service begin. Amen.